Will she come back if she tells you she needs time? First things first, is it possible to get your ex back after he asks you to leave him alone? Yes, absolutely. What you must do to get your ex back after he asks you for time is closely related to what you must not do. Don't pressure your ex. Don't blow up his phone, begging for him or her. Don't immediately start making promises that you will change quickly. If your ex specifically asks you to leave her alone, the worst thing you could do is get down on your knees and beg her to accept you. Now, is your ex really serious when he says he wants alone time? This is not the time to let your insecurities take over. Oftentimes, pressuring someone to do something they don't want to do just makes them more defensive. Another thing you do is negatively affect your ex's perception of you. If the last interaction you had was literally begging, your ex will sit there and think that you will always try to get it back or get it back. Your ex might start to think that they are better than you. They will think that because you begged them they have you in their hands, and obviously that is not a good way to start a new relationship, assuming you are trying to get your ex back. Let's say your ex has told you to leave him alone, and he basically thinks he's better than you. How do you get over that? How do you make me want to come back to you? The first thing you should do is get your ex to overcome that negative perception she has of you. I have now talked extensively about how to do this in other articles, and my YouTube channel, so feel free to look for more details. I won't go into much detail, but I want to talk about the biggest mistake people make in this process. The biggest mistake is thinking that you can change the negative perception that your ex has overnight. Have you ever heard that Rome wasn't built in a day? Changing your ex's negative perception of you takes time, honest and dedicated efforts, and a lot of patience. And if you haven't noticed, being patient during a very emotional time like a breakup is not easy. That's where the no contact rule comes in, which we've talked about a lot as well. Most people incorrectly assume that the no contact rule works because their ex misses them during that time. Well, we've found that while that's true, it's not the whole picture. The real key to a no contact rule is how you use that time to change your ex's perception of you. Now, if your ex told you to leave him alone, he probably expects you to beg. So when you immediately implement the no contact rule, you are actively challenging their initial perception. That is intriguing to him or her and helps get rid of the sticky negative perception they may have of you. Now, on the other hand, your goal should be to use the no contact rule in a way where you cultivate your interests and focus on things other than your ex. When you really work on yourself and try new things, your ex will see you as a different person, a person they want to know more about. All of that sounds great, but it's just the beginning. Leaving your ex alone when she asks is a good way to challenge her perception, but it's not enough because eventually, you need to have a frontal conversation. How to have a proper conversation with your ex? The no contact rule is a perfect time to research and become more involved with your ex's interests so that you can have a deeper conversation about what they like. However, that's the easy part. The hardest part is navigating the conflict in conversation. A great technique for handling these conflicts is to employ tactical empathy. What is tactical empathy? Tactical empathy is basically understanding and seeing the world through the point of view of your opponent, or your ex in this case, and explicitly showing that you identify with it. All your ex really wants is for you to listen to her and see her worldview. You are showing your ex that you are trying to understand where she is coming from and you acknowledge her feelings. The moment you do this, her defenses immediately drop because she feels that you really understand and you are here to listen to her. Say something like, "I know you are worried about problems and you feel like you haven't gotten my full attention. I listened to your complaints and I am here to help." This immediately disarms your ex and allows him to open up to what he has to say. So, if you're trying to get your ex back, tactical empathy is the way to go. Good. Tired, or tired of seeking the necessary help that will really allow you to win back your ex? Let us help you. Click here below to have immediate access to the personalized guide where we tell you what you should do to avoid making mistakes in the process. Subscribe and comment.